Yeah, it's a. I sometimes you put something in Twitter, reflexive or a beautiful piece of art you have been working in, but you put Nightwing's bat and it goes viral and it's a big success, and you I think that's my life now.
Welcome back to the Comics Cube, everyone. I am joined today by Bruno Redondo, the artist of the upcoming Nightwing series. So, hi there, Bruno. How are you doing?
Hi, thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. I saw that your Nightwing series was solicited for March 16, uh, coming, in a couple of months. And you're working with Tom Taylor. What is the appeal of working on Nightwing for you guys?
Um, well, our point about working in Nightwing is we are trying to establish a new, not a new beginning, but because we are working from the heritage from the past of the character. But the point is that to establish a good starting point for new readers, because we are moving Dick to Bloodhaven, and we are trying to do a fresh start with some old faces, some new characters, and we even worked with the editors to for having a new logo for the cover
Yeah.
to to be sure that that everybody perceives that this is a new stage for the character, and we are trying to make a solid stage about this, and we are trying to our idea by now is to be here for a while and to build a lot of new things all around that that keeps along the time.
This is, I believe, your 10th year in the business. I think
Uh, I think so.
around then.
I started in um, yes, like 10 or 12 years ago in
Yeah.
American comics. Yes.
And how do you think you've grown as an artist since then?
Well, I feel really far from myself, from my start with my work in American comics. By because the point is that for me to work in these comics, in these editorials, always has been a success itself, because I love comics, I love DC Comics, and to be playing a little bit with the side characters, I always thought that just to be there was a success, and just what I wasn't expecting is to have the chance to start working with some main characters like Nightwing at some point. And right now I'm enjoying a lot the stage of my career, because I can try new things. I'm playing with the storytelling, I'm talking a lot with the colorist, with the writer. The point is that we are not just um, paying the bills. The
Mhm.
point is to do something cool and new with the character and try to experimentate a little bit and go a little further. Not just enough to be paid, but uh, enjoy playing, trying to opening new doors, and I think people will notice. We already did some of these focus when we was doing Tom and me Suicide Squad last year. But right now we are trying to go further and doing something original.
It looks great, but before diving deep into the visuals of Nightwing and more of Nightwing, I just need to say you've worked with Tom Taylor for a long time at this point. I think this is your fourth or fifth collaboration together.
Man, I'm not sure, but I know we have been working like 7 years now. I think.
Yeah, I think you guys are best known for Injustice, and also more recently Suicide Squad. I think it doesn't even get mentioned that you guys did a Star Wars comic together, right?
We mentioned that from time to time. A few days ago, someone a web page was saying that there is a new kind of laser weapon in Star Wars comics, laser spear.
Lightsaber. Yeah.
No, a laser spear.
Okay. Yeah.
And I told them that we did that in our Star Wars comics.
And when what is it like to work with Tom, and how has that collaborative process changed over the last 7 years?
I think we grow. Our work together has grown a lot since that time. Um, because because we talk more now than when we started, and we discuss more for the good things and for the bad things. But we are trying to interchange ideas about what we are doing, and we keep enjoying and having fun working together, because we think in a similar way about storytelling and about the drama, about the humor. We used to look for a little bit of humor inside of every kind of story, no matter what is it about. We try to go high and go down with the emotions. So uh,
Yeah.
I'm really bad finishing my answers.
No, it's okay. It's okay. That's impressive to me because I mean, if you look at the history of comics, the writer artist duos, it's very rare that they can stick around for so long. Even somebody like Stanley and Jack Kirby like didn't stay together for very long. So that's very impressive to me. And I've noticed that with Injustice, we have a pretty dark story with the evil Superman and the multiverse, and then with Suicide Squad, it's a more you can inject more humor into it. But your Nightwing series, from the preview pages so far, despite the fact that he's a Batman character and he's in Bloodhaven, it does look like it's going to be quite lighthearted. Is that the tone you're going for?
I think there will be a little bit of everything, but something important we are trying to do is to to tell a bright story. I mean, we are not much in love with the grim and gritty style, with the darkness just because of darkness. And the point is that we are having really bad times right
Yeah.
now. So
Yes, we are.
we are tired about that kind of dramatic dark heroes, just a bit. And the point is that Dick Grayson, Nightwing, is supposed to be a little bit funny. When he was Batman, for example, some people noticed that he wasn't the regular Batman, because he sometimes smiles.
Yeah.
So that's important. There's another characters where you can go deep into the drama, like Batman himself, And the point is that Nightwing, I think he tried to um, to be different than Bruce Wayne. He doesn't wanna live into all that darkness and bad feelings. So he wanna help people, and he doesn't need to be a monster or a shadow or that stuff. So the title of our first story is Leaping into the Light.
Nice.
So we are looking to do the hero that we need right now, that we need, and I think we need some hope around all the shit that happens to everybody since many times.
You know, when somebody usually gives that answer, it's usually about a character like Superman or Captain America, and you're giving it about Nightwing. Would you say that Nightwing is of the Bat family? He's the one closest to those types of characters, more
Yeah,
hopeful.
he's inside the. He comes from the Bat family, but he doesn't wanna be besides Batman because of something. Because I think in the TV show of Titans,
Yeah.
I like how they focused on the point that they go into a more grim and gritty interpretation about everything. Okay,
Yeah.
but the point is that in that version they talk precisely about uh, Dick starts noticing as Robin how mad Bruce Wayne is, the lot of problems he have. Batman is cool. Is my absolute favorite character. But the point is that he's not okay. He's really bad. he, so the point is that
He's
Dick,
a little out of it.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
out of everything. So the point is that Dick doesn't wanna be like him. So he wanna make his own path in the life and his own idea about helping people. And yes, he uses the inspiration and the education that Bruce Wayne gave him, but he's always the one in the family who uses to put the hey the let's see in another point of view, or he tries to dialogue more than most of his brothers and all. I think he is closer to the person that Alfred was
Oh,
than he's closer to him as a parent figure than Bruce Wayne.
that's
Is what I
interesting.
mean. So
Yeah.
he has a more human support and education.
And speaking of that kind of, setting him apart, there's you have this beautiful preview page. One of them is a two-page spread of Bloodhaven, and Nightwing is jumping over it. What are the steps you're taking to make sure that he's visually different in terms of movement, motion from Batman or even the other Robins?
Um, uh, Mainly, Dick Grayson comes from the circus. Uh, he's a trapeze boy. So if I'm saying it right, the point is that he is agile. He's agile. He doesn't need. He doesn't fly or plane like Batman. He moves quickly. He's like a since his first days as Robin, he was like a little colored point that moves around and jump. So he has a less brutal
Approach?
way
Yeah.
to solve the conflicts. So the point is that he must move like a gymnastic.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And are you using any sort of references for what kind of references do you use for Nightwing when he's moving around like that?
By now, I'm starting studying a lot of martial arts movies. I'm
Hmm.
watching a lot of Bruce Lee and things like that because not because he is gonna do the same, but I'm trying to get more familiar with that kind of characters that moves a lot. Nightwing himself. I'm studying a lot the McDaniel
Yeah.
Dixon comics because in that time he was a complete athlete, and there was in every chapter a lot of pages where you only see Nightwing moving between places. So there has been people doing magic with that. So well, I'll try to not to be far from that people.
And looking at the cover that you did, and as well as the preview pages that you've had, the cover has Nightwing, a half body shot, and then within his symbol and within his torso is the city of Bloodhaven. So there's a strong, unique design sensibility that I'm seeing here that is kind of unique to comics. Like there's only, uh, it's unique to some comics as well. Um, and I was wondering what inspirations you were taking that kind of thing from, because it really does look like you're really looking to set this apart artistically and design wise from whatever else is on the market.
I don't know if I'll be able to explain that in English, but you are right. I'm, I'm trying to put some kind of different differences in this stage, starting from the covers, because I'm looking for that kind of covers that pops up more in a comic store, um,
Like
with a
if you see
more
it, I'll buy it. That kind of cover.
that kind.
Yeah.
The point is that when people see the lot of covers in the comic stores, I want they to locate easily that there is a new Nightwing cover uh, among them. I'm studying a lot of movie posters from different countries. I'm
Mhm.
looking for some kind of design of Russian kind of influence for this. I'll try even to use the title as part of the logo, as part of the image sometimes. So the point is that I'm trying to do something a little bit different with the covers, and I'm better explaining this in Spanish than English. Sorry.
I wish I could speak Spanish so I could.
Well,
Okay. But that's cool because I'm a big Will Eisner fan. So if you work the logo into
I'm studying a lot. For example, the work from Dave Johnson, for
oh,
example.
nice, yeah, great.
Yeah, the way he plays with the silhouettes, the geometry. Um, I'm talking about him because he's one of the last in studying about this style of covers. But yeah, that kind.
Dick Grayson is his key weapons are, I don't know what they're called in English, but Filipinos always like them because they're a Filipino weapon. The sticks. How do you like? How are you approaching his? How are you approaching how he uses those weapons? Because those are not weapons that a lot of characters have in
Yes.
American fiction in general. It's
Um, the name I'm using for this is Scrima.
eskrima. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Scrima.
I know the Filipino word,
And
which is arnis. So
the point is that I don't. I'm starting to study what you just asked, because I don't know I don't know martial arts, so I'll try to. The point is that I should know I should know more than I know, because my characters should look like expertise martial arts. So a friend of me told me the name I must study the martial arts is Kali.
Okay.
That is a martial art based in using the eskrima. So I'm on it. I'm I just started learning that kind of things, and I'll be better in second chapter. By now, I just did a cuckoo. There's not much more action. Well,
Okay.
spoilers.
And then tell me about Bloodhaven. What are you? Because Bloodhaven, you're going for a brighter story, but Bloodhaven is supposed to be a darker Gotham, and its name is
Yeah, but
Bloodhaven. So how are you approaching that particular issue?
that is the point. We are
Yeah.
not trying to tell a bright story exactly, because the point is that Bloodhaven is a city full of corruption. So there's a lot of work to do. Dick Grayson is going back to the city, and he finds that in the time he wasn't looking about taking care about the city went to bad, from bad to worse. So it doesn't have a good situation, and the things are pretty bad. So the point is that he is gonna work about that. He's gonna fight for the city. He's gonna try to make the things better, and it's not gonna be easy. But the point is that he doesn't wanna keep that balance of darkness that always happens in Gotham. He wanna really go further than that, but let's see what happens. That's the point.
Yeah, I think even in the cover you can see. I mean, it's a dark city and everything, but he's smiling, so he's always
Yeah.
smiling.
No,
And
he will not smile all the time, but he's funny. He can smile in the right moment,
yes,
and that can be even scary for the bad guys.
and speaking of smiling, Dick Grayson's best friends in the world are superheroes. They're the Teen Titans. His best friend is Wally West, and so are you. Do you guys have plans to kind of have guest stars in this run? Because I know Batman's more of a loner type who likes to keep to the Bat family, but Dick Grayson is more, he's more naturally a fit with the rest of the DC universe.
Um, I just can see what Tom already said. Yes, it's probably Nightwing is, as you said, himself and the people who he loves. So we are trying to be true to the character's portrait.
Hmm.
So we are not trying to we are trying to keep it Nightwing. We are trying to keep it the Nightwing story, not that kind of big massive stories with all the DC universe. Is the only thing that I'm saying, that we are not trying to mix him too much into so big things, because he's an urban character mainly. That's the range we are trying to move in.
You've been, you said that you're trying to get Nightwing a new start, a fresh start. Nightwing has had a couple of series. They went for a very long time. The first one I think was over 150 issues, and then the one that has concluded after Rebirth I think went 90. Are you drawing from those those stories at all, or are you going to bring back any of the old supporting cast that was introduced in those runs, or are you starting completely from scratch? If you
Mid.
okay. And speaking of a supporting character that you're that has already exists and that has already been mentioned is going to show up in the book, what's your approach to Barbara Gordon?
My approach to Barbara Gordon is that not every artist does it, but I'm working with freckles about the character. It's a little silly thing, but I think it works great on her. And we worked a lot with Barbara Gordon in Injustice, but it was a long time ago. And in Injustice, he was playing more her Oracle role. We just started working with her, and I love all the Gordon family because I love the human take from that characters of the Batman world, and Barbara is that kind of intelligent, sensitive character that helps a lot to keep it real, to keep it because she is not as mad as Batman, and even Dick is a little more mad than her because Dick has his own trauma. But the point is that she's like I don't know. She keeps the things mind healthy. I don't know if I'm.
She became Batgirl because she wanted to be Batgirl. It's not
Yeah,
because she had.
not because the pain or it was a decision. It was volunteer. It was not because of an accident.
Yes.
So that's something cool from her because that allows her to be Batgirl or not, or be Oracle. But she keeps more focused than some of the other persons in the Bat family.
And you mentioned before how Dick moves. You're basing it on his acrobatic past. Like, how are you going to approach how Barbara moves as Batgirl?
Um, I'm looking a lot to Batgirl Year One. I think it was drawn by Marcos Martin.
Yeah, Marcos Martin.
I'm looking a lot about that. She's also an athlete. I think she moves more with the grapple gun.
Yeah.
Is the yeah?
Yeah, the
I
grapple
think
gun.
more yeah. You know the
Yeah.
that stuff. I think she moves more with that. Nightwing, I can think on him more running, jumping from place to place to place, and I think she's a little bit less athletic in that sense, because Dick was born in a circus family, and that gives him some advantage in that. I think Batgirl uses a little bit more bad things.
Yeah, I think it was mentioned in Hush that no one in the DC universe is more naturally athletic than Dick Grayson, specifically
Yes.
because of what you mentioned. He was born into it, and he was doing it since he was a child.
Yeah, even Batman started after.
Yeah,
I mean, he was 10 when they killed
and
his parents.
he had to train for it. but
yes, since that moment. But Dick started like an athlete
mhm.
since his early days. So I think Dick will always have a little more advantage from any other character in that way.
In as a complete fan question, I need to ask is do you prefer Dick Grayson with Barbara Gordon or with Starfire?
I have seen a lot of people discussing about this, and that there is not a good answer in the Twitter days. But I think I like him more with Barbara because there's different worlds. Okay, it's
Mhm.
like it's the same for Batman. Batman is one character with the Justice League. He's a supporting character. He's out of his world and well surrounded by gods and all that stuff. And he has his real world is Gotham. Okay, for Dick, for me is different too. I know a lot of people feels that he's fully involved exclusively in Titans. I knew him before in New Titans than by himself. But for me, it's important to have a life apart from the Titans as group. So I feel it's more any relation that he has out of the group. I don't know. Hey, it doesn't mean that his love with Starfire is less real or less important, but everybody has different stages.
Of
It's
course.
like a friend of me says that there's not only one love in your life. Maybe you have one day, but it can change, and you can be in a different stage. So, with all my respect to the fans about the Starfire relation, I'm more in the Barbara team.
I mean, Batman himself has a debate about which one he loves more, Talia or Catwoman. So why would Nightwing be any different, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so again, there's a strong design sense in your work, and I I, I noticed that in your preview pages, your work it's in black and white, and then there are already streaks of blue. Can you explain that part of the process?
Well, that's just a technical thing. It's like I'm working in digital right now. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I used to do a first draft by pencil with a pencil texture, and I just turn it into
Inks.
I draw in different stages. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
first a quick sketch, then a draft, then a final pencil, and after that inking. The point is that in at any stage I used to turn blue the previous phase to draw over it in black.
Okay, I
So
understand.
I do sketch, turn in blue, draft over sketch, turn in blue, pencil over draft, turn in blue. So it's more easy to see the good line, the final line, if you separate that in blue the past phase and black the new phase. I don't know
Do
if I
you?
explained it properly.
No, it's fine. I understand what you mean. I just thought it was something that was going to show up in the book or something.
No. Well, you're saying you're saying about the strike line.
Yeah, this the blue,
Ah,
the it's black and white, and then there's blue streaks on it. Is that
yes. No, that's just because I did a movement effect,
okay?
and as I decided I like more the sticks in blue.
Oh,
Previously,
nice.
it was like black with two blue lines. Okay, but I like it more fully blue. So when you see them over his back, you can see the two blue lines. So I find funny if there's a movement effect of the sticks that the movement line is in blue
Okay.
because it's like a blur of the object. It's just that. And if you look at that line in the tail, it's a word. It's a sound effect. I wrote zas for in Spanish we say zas for for
For a quick
a
thing.
whiplash or
Yeah.
something. Yes. So I wrote zas, but really stretch it along the line.
I'll have to look at that now. I'll
Yeah,
have to
thank
look at
you.
that now. Can you talk about the villains that Nightwing is going to be fighting, or is that a spoiler?
Is that a spoiler? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I still cannot. I just can say that we are trying to build a new proper villain for Nightwing. We
Okay.
noticed that I think maybe all of the Nightwing villains, or almost all of them, are Batman villains.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Like,
Yeah,
they're
the point that
yeah.
we are trying to build his own villains this time. Hey, we maybe can see some of the old ones or some of the bad villains, but the point is that we are trying to focus all this in Nightwing, and not to be at the shadow of other characters.
Yeah, it's weird to me because you think about all of these classic characters and then their classic rogues galleries like Batman, Spider-Man, and Superman, and the Flash. But it seems that with newer characters, and by newer I really mean like the last 30 years, it's like the villains tend to come from the other heroes. Like, even if you go back all
Uh,
the way to Frank Miller's Daredevil, his main villain is the Kingpin, and he came from Spider-Man. So
mm,
I think that's a little strange.
the point about the danger about Nightwing is that he has always been at the shadow of Batman. It's the point is that I think that the Nightwing story as character is precisely to run away from the Batman shadow. I mean, if he wanted to keep around, he'll keep around, but he wanted to grow
Hmm.
more and to create his own path. At some stages of Nightwing comics, the writers has that in mind, and at some stages they don't. And it's even hard because in the even in when you have something so cool as Batman, it's really difficult to separate from that, because Batman is means success. So is always a temptation to play around the sun. So but if you go closer to the sun, you can burn. You can burn yourself. You can burn the character, and the character could mean nothing but a little moon around Batman. So our point is to focus on Nightwing's path. I think I really feel that Nightwing has a potential enormous.
I do too.
as a character. You can do a lot of things really cool with him. But I think the only reason that he's not more important than he is right that. And also, people loves Nightwing. I'm noticing since the very first day they announced that Tom and me was gonna work in this series, we had so much love from the people about this more than in any other of our previous work, because I see that people really loves Nightwing. I think that everyone feels that everyone's wanted to be Batman, but that's symbolically very impossible. But I think we can identify more with a character like Nightwing, because we all, like Dick Grayson, grow besides Batman in some way. So I think is the cool thing about Nightwing is that he is ourselves with all the things that we learn from that monster, from going apart and doing something cool by ourselves. It's in a symbolical way, I
Yeah.
mean.
And he's, you know, in real life, I think I would probably rather be Nightwing than Batman, because he is a happier person than Batman.
Yeah, everybody says, hey, I want to be Batman. No, you don't want to be
No, you
Batman.
don't.
But Batman is mind fucked all the time. He's really worried, and he
I,
he's never happy.
I don't even think he sleeps.
Probably
Um,
not. He only um, lives in and eats pain. Uh, there's not much light in his life. I wish the better for him, but he has real problems.
uh, yeah, the interesting thing about Nightwing is that, I'll be honest, I love the character, but with all of the comics that have ever been made about him, um I always kind of felt like he was being held back, either by a writer who was trying to put him in the shadow of Batman, or maybe by editorial decisions that immediately put him back in with the Batman event, before before a book has taken off. But when I saw the preview pages for this, I thought it looked super visually distinct, and it was providing a direction that I thought was very exciting. And yeah, I just wanted to say I'm really looking forward to your take on Nightwing. I feel like this is the Nightwing book I've been waiting for a long time.
Thank you. We are trying to not disappoint anyone, because if we go well, mm, it's what I just told you. I know people loves Dick Grayson,
Yeah,
so it's a big responsibility to make it good with him. And the thing is that Tom and me also loves Nightwing. It was the first in our first conversations about that. We are talking about different comics we could take, and when Nightwing appears on the table, we both said that we cannot say no to Dick Grayson,
of course.
because we love the character. Some people think that Tom doesn't like Dick Grayson
Because
because
you killed him.
yes, but he killed him in situations. I
Twice.
mean, hey, there was reasons to do that, and it was he was telling stories about dark universe where everybody is a shit, and if you have to tell a story about how the DC universe goes to hell, one of the first things you have to do is to kill Nightwing.
Because he's the heart of the DC universe, right?
Yeah, exactly. Is the way to describe a shitty DC universe is to kill the Grayson. So that's the reason. Tom really loves Dick Grayson.
Yeah, I think he really got it because Dick Grayson is the thing that connects the Batman family to the rest of to the Titans, to the Justice League. He's really at the center of it more than anyone else. So I he understood it, and I think it's funny that people think that he hates him because of
Yes.
that. Yeah. A couple of last questions. Can you talk about the dog?
Yes, but there's not much to tell about. The point is we have a new character in the Nightwing family, and it's a dog. She's a girl, and she only has 3 legs. Some people ask in internet why she has 3 legs, and we say why not.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, why not? And but the point is that our idea is that the dog will remain with the family at least for a time.
Yeah.
And I think that Tom didn't name the dog yet. I think he's waiting. They asked in Twitter. They are waiting for the reactions of the people about the names. So well, people
We'll
can
see.
speak.
We'll see what happens. And my last question is, um, so with a very strong design sense and the sense of movement that you have, and also with the dog, this series is already being compared to Matt Fraction and David Aja's Hawkeye series from a few years ago. Um, what do you think about that comparison?
Well, first of all, is something I love to look like because I love David Aja's work. Um, but we are looking a lot uh, and looking at the comics. We are looking a lot at the Greg. Wait a second. Uh, Hi, Darwin Cook and Ed Brubaker's Catwoman,
Yeah, it's awesome
looking
run.
into our own family. They did a pretty good stage in Catwoman where the character was growing by herself, where the covers had a strong design feeling too, and and where they build their own references with some old characters, some new. So we're looking we're looking at a lot of references, and if we have just the half of the freshness that that they did with that Catwoman or that Hockey, that will be cool. The point is that sometimes with like those characters, if you take something from one of these strong families and put it aside and look and focus only on them, you can find a lot of new lights and new reflections and new shadows and something really new and strong to talk about. So that's what we can have related.
Amazing. Darwin Cook still influencing people. Uh,
Hey, always
Always.
he will be one of the best forever.
Yeah. It's really sad. Like I was just
Yes,
reading some Darwin
absolutely.
Cook, and I'm like, I'm really sad that this guy. Yeah.
I have you know the Parker series
Yeah.
he did.
Hmm.
uh, I'm reading that, but I'm reading that really slowly because I wanted to I, I, um, I know there will be a moment where I will have nothing new to read from Darwin's Cook, and that's so full. So I'm trying to enjoy every page of him,
Yeah. And
trying not to end.
last thing about Nightwing. Do you have anything more you want to say about Nightwing, or anything else that you want to plug?
I don't know. I already told a lot of things. I can't wait for this to go out. Uh, we are uh, we are saving nothing aside to do this book. I did not mention Adriano Lucas, the colorist.
Yeah.
Is the same colorist that worked with us in Suicide Squad. His work is awesome, but the point is that he's even better every day, and he's a big part of this story too. We have been discussing last months about a little twist in the graphic style. I'm doing something different by myself, but he's doing something different that fits a lot with the things I'm trying to do. And I can't wait for you to see his colors. You already have seen
The
the
cover
double spread
and yeah,
where
it's amazing.
yeah, Adriano makes some of the best skies in comics. That's a guarantee. But the thing is that in the other pages, he's doing really beautiful things. You will be amazed by that. So well, I can only say that and that Jessica is doing or editor is doing a pretty good work putting all this together. Jessica Chen.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait for you to see that.
Okay, that's awesome. Wait, I have one last question before we go. How much pressure is it in the Twitter age to be drawing Nightwing's butt?
That's funny, right? But I don't want to fall in objectified too much Nightwing's butt, but but by now no one is hard about that, and many people looks to be um, waiting for new Nightwing bats, and that's a lot of pressure because Nicola Scott did something great about that area, and well, uh, I, I I have never studied as much as now male bats, but it's part of my work now, I guess. You always have to learn something new in each work. So this time is gymnastics, martial arts, and male bats.
Yeah, you posted a close up of his butt on Twitter, and then like it just went viral.
Yeah, it's a. I sometimes you put something in Twitter, reflexive or a beautiful piece of art you have been working in, but you put Nightwing's butt, and it goes viral, and it's a big success, and you well, I think that's my life now. I'm closer to porn than than previously.
Thank you, Bruno. This was an awesome interview. I cannot wait for the book.
Thanks for having me, and I hope to know what do you think about our work when you can read it.
Absolutely. Thank you.